Two rules for happy living. Stay tuned. Hello. Good morning, everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome. It is 7 a.m. and today is June 8th, 2021. It is a Tuesday and had a still got some stuff going on. Want to make an announcement. Haven't been able to. Just kind of waiting on a few things. It's a lot of things going on right now. Good things, all good things. And anything that's bad can always be corrected, right? Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things going on right now. So hope everybody is doing well out there. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like what it is I'm doing here in the mornings, every day, Monday through Fridays, 7 a.m. And I'll have an announcement on Friday regarding this show. A little bit, doing a couple of changes, a couple of different things, and I'll explain that on Friday's show. I'm gonna do a whole show based on some of the changes and some of the things that I'm gonna be doing. But I hope you join in for that. But for today, we're gonna be talking about two rules for happy living. Sounds crazy, right? Two rules for happy living. How can you have two rules for happy living? You would think you'd have at least 100 rules, right? But there's two rules for happy living, and I'll explain it. I'll explain it why, and I'm going to tell you what they both are first, and then we're going to break them down, right? And so, the two rules for happy living. Again, this is from the Scientology online courses that you can actually just go to Scientology.org, and it'll take you there, or ScientologyCourses.org. If you want to do a free course, you can do that. Um, this is called Two Rules for Happy Living. The first rule is be able to experience anything. Now, be able to experience anything. Doesn't say you have to love everything or like everything or hate everything, right? Be able to experience anything. The second one is cause only thing, I'll do that again. Cause only those things that others are able to experience easily. So basically, create things that others can experience easily where it's not hard for them to create. If you have these two rules, and if everyone applied these two rules for happy living, just think about anyone that's able to experience anything and others who are not creating things that others cannot experience easily. You have a pretty good society going on there because everyone is considerate of the other person, and but they also can confront everything, right? Anybody can experience anything. So this is one of those things from the golden rule, right? Man has many golden rules, rules of conduct, right? Of good conduct. A lot of religions have what they, what we call the golden rule, but it's essentially the same kind of golden rule, right? The rule of do to others as you would like them to do to you, right? Has often been part of religion and often part of our the different philosophies and different systems of operating on the planet, right? So, such as the golden rules, you don't want to take away a person's sanity. You don't want to take away a person's success, a person's happiness. You want to treat people with the same respect that you want to be treated. All these things are part of the rules for happy living, right? Being able to experience anything is a powerful thing because me growing up in the South Bronx, I remember, when I learned this because I was there for maybe about 2 years before I moved out into Manhattan. I realized I was like, oh yeah, I have to be able to experience where I am, right? And be able to experience everything, anything that's coming my way in order for me to then keep moving forward. Because if I pay really, if something stops me in my tracks, if something I can, and it just stops me, well, there I just created an energy that's going to stop me from moving forward, right? It's something that I'm not going to be able to confront or push away or experience. So it doesn't say that you have to completely handle the situation, right? He's not saying here that you have to that this is going to solve anything. All he's saying is that you have to be able to experience anything. Just be able to experience it. So, growing up in the Bronx, when I realized, okay, just experience where I am, and it was still a violent environment. This was in the '90s. Things were still rough. I would go to the church and then have to come back sometimes late at night and be like, "Ugh," because I was working there. And it became, but when I figured out, okay, just be able to experience it within not long after that, I was able to find an apartment and move out and have a little bit more freedom to go out and to do things. And it really changed things. But it was only because I decided that I was going to experience anything, right? I was gonna be able to experience anything, and that's a huge, huge part of what this is all about, right? That's why it's number one. And I have people on Instagram here, so hey, if you're interested, keep watching. It's every morning, 7 a.m. Just go to my website, johnhenrysoto.com, and join us. Bye. All right. I just turned off Instagram live. Just like to give them a little taste of what you're getting. All right. So that's number one. That's rule number one, right? Now you got rule number two. Good morning, Marjorie. How are you? Thank you very much. She says, good morning, JHS. What's up? Chilling, chilling. Here talking about the two rules for happy living. Rule number two is cause only those things that others are able to experience easily. Um, Now, that one is a tricky one because when we're creating or when we're causing things to happen, right? If we're causing something, we're not always sure how someone else is going to be able to experience that, right? Because it's not necessarily, it's still my create, it's still my responsibility, it's still my thoughts, my expression of communication, my creative energy, whatever it is, it comes from me. So if I am emanating these thoughts, I'm not always 100% sure how someone else is going to receive them. Hence number one of be able to experience anything, right? Um so when I'm putting out a piece of content or when I'm saying something maybe controversial about maybe some political thing that I if I've ever mentioned it, it becomes a I'm not sure how it's going to experience others, right? It says so in essence, I have trouble with number two more than, than number one. I can experience pretty much a lot. I've seen the worst of humanity. Unfortunately, growing up in the Bronx, uh I've seen the worst, and I've seen wonderful things, right? So I can experience anything. I can experience the worst, I could experience the good. And some people actually can't even experience good, believe it or not. um some people are in a place in their life where they have so much bad things happen to them. When they see someone else doing good things, they can't even experience that. That becomes a problem for them. So you can experience, it doesn't always have to be a bad experience, right? It could just be an experience, be able to experience anything. Someone who's lost a love, right? Who's lost a romance, or a romance broke up, right? They see someone else, another couple, and the couple is happy. You happy people, monkeys, I hate you. That just be able to experience anything. That's something you got to experience. They found love, you have work to do, right? Which is fine, right? But the ability to experience that is really key. Now the second one, cause the only those things that others are able to experience easily. That one's a little bit more tricky because it kind of also says, don't do. How do you know what you're gonna do is going to now they're the obvious ones, right? There's the obvious ones where don't yell at someone, don't curse at someone, don't kick someone on the subway, right? um these are obvious ones, right? Don't mistreat people, at the supermarket. Don't mistreat the teller, or at the bank, or the cashier at the store. Don't cause things that others cannot experience easily. But it also is very subtle, like in Like in a marriage, for instance, if you have or a relationship of some type, if you know that your partner is really gets really upset when you mention their ex, then don't do that, right? Because you know already. So don't cause that thing that you know they're not going to be able to handle, right? Now on their end, they should be able to experience anything, right? Because that's rule number one. But if they can't, then your job is to not create that thing, so they don't have to actually um, be put in that position, right? So it's two parts, it's two responsibilities. And if you know the information that's going to upset somebody, just don't do it. Why would you do it unless you have like some kind of vindictive personality and you just want to that's a different story. Then you have other issues. Um and you just have other issues. But as far as that, I'm just going to read a little bit of what it says here. um, it says man has had many golden rules, rules of good conduct. The rule of do to others as you would like others do to you has been repeated often, but such golden rules do not always result in sanity, success, or happiness. They give no thought to what a person does about the things done to him by those who have not been taught the golden rules. How do you handle the evil things done to you? To be happy, you must be able to confront, which is to say, experience those things that are there to be seen or experienced. Unhappiness is only this: the inability to confront that which is there to be confronted. So that's unhappiness. So think about that for a second. I'm gonna read that again. This is the definition of unhappiness: the inability to confront that which is there to be confronted. So all things are there to be confronted. And if you have an inability to confront something that is there to be confronted, that's unhappiness, because it puts you in a place where you can't function in certain areas. What if you have a job where you have a boss, you can't confront the boss? Well, you're going to be an unhappy person, right? Same thing with a relationship, right? If you can't communicate to your partner something that you want to communicate to them, that's an unhappiness, right? It's going to create unhappiness. If your partner is forcing you to do something or to be somewhere or to live somewhere where you don't want to live, that's going to cause an unhappiness, right? And so those are something that you have to be able to confront, right? To be happy, right? You must confront. Oh, I already read that. Okay, so therefore, you must follow the rule number one: be able to experience anything, right? A definition of good conduct is to do only those things that others can easily and comfortably experience. If you imagine your past, you will find your attention can get stuck on those actions you did that others were not able to receive. For example, there was a time when you were angry, you punched someone in the nose, or there was the time you took someone's cake and ate it for yourself without telling the person. The more actions a person did that could not be experienced by others, the worse a person's past became. Seeing that he had caused many bad things, he stopped causing things at all, an unhappy state to be in. Pain, upset, and insanity all result from causing things that others could not experience easily. All bad acts, then, are those acts that cannot be easily experienced by the person receiving them. Using this definition, let us look at our own bad acts. Which ones were bad? Only those that could not be easily experienced by another were bad. So, which of society's bad acts are bad? They are the acts of violence that resulted in pain, unconsciousness, or insanity, causing someone to experience heavy loss, like losing someone's money. What other acts of yours do you consider bad? The things that you have done that you could not easily yourself experience were bad. But the things that you have done that you yourself could have experienced, if they had been done to you, were not bad. There is no need to lead a violent life just to prove you can experience. The idea is not to prove you can have. I'll do that again. The idea is not to prove you can experience, but to get back to the ability to experience anything. Thus, today we have the golden rules for happiness. One, be able to experience anything. Two, cause only those things that others are able to experience easily. If you follow these two golden rules, you'll be one of the happiest and most successful people around. Cool, right? So this was always a really important thing for me when I learned this many moons ago. Because I was always wondering, like, I was always holding back my communication, and I do that sometimes to this to a certain degree now. I don't want to experience things that others can't experience easily, but because I do a public thing here, and people see it, I do a lot of posting on social media, and I have two other apps that I go live on, um, live streaming apps that are unrelated to social media. I communicate with a lot of people, so I can't always, you know, say everything that's going to make everyone happy, right? We're living in this weird world right now, right? Where, everyone is like, "Oh, are you upset by what he said? Have you been triggered?" Oh, right? You can't even me doing that right now triggered somebody who gets triggered easily, right? I can't really worry about that. If you get triggered easily, then it's like you're obviously not following one of the rules for one of the golden rules to be able to experience anything, right? If you can't experience anything, then I'm sorry, that's a bad situation, right? But it's a glorious thing when you're able to confront anything, and when you're able to have that conversation that's really difficult to have, or to be able to help that person confront something, that's another joy. When you're able to I had a conversation yesterday with somebody who called me, and we set up a call so I can consult them a little bit on social media and on how to post. So her concern was, it was hard for her to confront going live, and that is I'm live right now. Yeah, I do this every day, 7 days a week. This week, this 5 days a week, but this week I have 8 shows, 8 live shows, because we're doing some other things in between. So sometimes it's a lot to confront, but when you get started, it becomes easy, easier. And because of the rule number one, be able to experience anything, I started doing this, and I started going out there. And at the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was terrible. The technology was bad. The volume was bad. The sound equipment was bad. Everything was bad, but I was going and I was learning as I was going, right? I was able to confront it, right? Be able to confront conversations with my wife, right? This was something that early on in our marriage, and I'll be totally transparent, right? It was not easy. It was not easy. There were certain things that I wanted to say and I couldn't say because I didn't want to upset her. But that's rule number two, right? Do things that others can experience easily, right? And but I couldn't withhold this communication. I had to say things. It wasn't many years later, and after a lot of turmoil and really bad times, that I just decided, okay, I got to follow these rules, and I have to be able to confront anything. So if I say something that's going to be upsetting to her, I need to be able to confront that. Just as these rules are hers too. She needs to follow these rules, right? She needs to confront anything and whatever it is, right? So if we both have these things in place, we'd be fine. But because we didn't, we ran into a lot of difficulties early in our marriage, right? Now we can say anything. She knows I'm kind of a wacky guy, and I've become more me as I learn more and gain more awareness and study more and read more and understand more about life, and actually live life. um I'm able to be more myself, and I realize that myself is a little bit more of an outgoing kind of a personality, where I say things that maybe someone I try to say it as best as possible, and it's not always going to work that way, but this is what I do. I'm a communicator. I love to communicate. I also love to help people, so that's something that I love to do. So these two rules have really, managed to change things for me as far as my marriage. And there's a whole course that you can do on this, where you can really dive in and really learn and do what's called practicals, right? Experimental things that you write down. And try it out. Try to live this way for a day and see how that works for you, right? Make that phone call that's really tough to make, and sit down and take it. I do that till this day, right? I got to call somebody. I got to talk about something that's going to be uncomfortable, especially when I was working a lot in real estate. Sometimes you got to call somebody up that they lost the house, or they lost the apartment, or the mortgage is not coming through, or their credit score is not as high as they thought it was. And they're like saying, there, my credit's at 660 or 700. And then you go to the credit score and it's like at 500, and you have to now make that phone call. And it's like, I really don't want to tell them this. I feel terrible for them, right? Because they're planning on moving. But you have to be able to confront those things. You have to be able to do it, or else you're not going to provide a good service for anybody, right? You're going to be a weak individual for them, and you're going to make it worse for them. It's good for them to know quickly what's happening, so then we can resolve it, right? So those are the two rules for happy living. I hope that helped you. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with friends so they can hear the two rules for happy living. If you have any questions, you can always email me at johnhenrysoto@protonmail.com, and I will be more than happy to help you understand this. I'm still always trying to understand it, trying to be a better person, right? If you're interested in any of my work, my film work, and other stuff, you can always just visit my website, and my website will help you with that. And that is all, folks. I want to thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of you very much. um, for those that were on Twitch, I apologize. For some reason I lost the signal there, not sure why. I'll fix that later. They'll be back tomorrow, but maybe they'll catch us on some other platform. But anyway, all right, folks, want to thank you all for tuning in. Make today great. Do the things that you love, and take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.